And we'll just tell you that we work very well together as a team, and we have a singular mission in mind to improving the safety and security of this campus. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Yes?
Do you have any concerns, I guess, in the short term about Thursday?
You know, the short answer to your question is no. We've gotten, we're aware of several events that are planned for Thursday. Most of them aren't of much concern to us. There's no intelligence that indicates that that there would be any problems. There's one event that is occurring, I think, down at the D.C. jail that we're paying attention to. But again, really nothing that is of great concern to us at this point. Yes?
Recently, a House staffer brought a loaded gun to Capitol Police Security in the Capitol complex. How did officers miss that? Are they facing any disciplinary action? And is that a sign of a larger problem among the department with regard to security?
So I'll answer your last question first. I don't think it's a concern of a larger problem because this happens very infrequently, but it should happen never. And it was human error. The good news is that while the one officer missed the image, a second officer, once a line of people came through, said, "Hey, can we go back? Can we screen back a couple a couple of images?" He said, "I thought I saw something." And so within, just seconds later, we realized that there was a firearm that had come through come through the X-ray machine, and so we were able to react to that very quickly. But again, this should never happen. It was human error, and the case is under investigation. We're doing an administrative investigation, and we will determine whether the officer needs additional training, if discipline is appropriate. That decision has not been made yet, but that'll come after the results of the investigation.
What was the officer doing when he or she?
There were well, that'll be part of the investigation to determine why the image was missed.
Are they currently working for the department?
Hey, Chris,
They're still working for the department. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Out to the rest of the room.
Chief, can I just have you respond to criticism from the chair of the police union about using contract employees, private contractors to help fill in the gaps because you're short about 400 officers? Just respond to that, especially because he calls it a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I've had a fair number of conversations with the union about this issue, and we understand their concerns, and we're working with it's an ongoing discussion. We're working with them, trying to address their concerns. You'll have to ask him about why he said what he said, but we're having conversations that so we're working on their concerns. So we are looking into, and when I'm going to say 9,600 is the number. I don't know that we have a normal year anymore. It was over 8,000 last year, but a couple of years ago it was only 4,000 or 5,000. So the number has been going up steadily each year. And when I say threats, these are their phone calls, their emails, their social media. Things that we find on social media. So they come in a number of ways and in varied ways. Not every one of these so-called threats rises to the level of being a crime. So when we say threats, it's basically a concerning statement that we need to look into. Some of them do rise to the level of a crime. We investigate it as a crime, and there are cases where we make arrests and there's prosecution. So the ones that concern us the most are the ones where we have had previous contact with the individual who's making the threat, and we're concerned about their actions. It's going to be more than just an anonymous email or something. Those are the ones that concern us the most. Yes, sir.
Time for a few more questions, so try to keep it to one.
I have a question for Mr. Blanton. appropriated $300 million or so for physical security improvements to the Capitol. How is that money been spent?
So that currently we're in, the money was appropriated for upgrades to windows and for camera systems. The windows are under design right now. You'll see the installation will start in the spring. The reason it's starting then is because it's weather dependent on when we can do it, and you need to have above freezing temperatures.
So none of those physical security improvements have been made so far?
They're under design right now.
That's everything? Windows, doors?
No, that's a different question. There have been physical security improvements that have occurred on campus. We have spent significant effort of reinforcing the doors, both exterior and interior. The windows that were damaged, including the stronger windows, those have been repaired already. We've upgraded and enhanced the kiosks. We've done enhanced security lighting and electrical systems around the Capitol for detection. So there's been significant upgrades that have occurred over this past year. Those were outside of the $300 million. $300 million was narrowly focused on windows and cameras.
All right, we got time for 2 more questions. We got to spread out across the room.
No, it's not. It's absolutely consistent with what the Inspector General said. It's now actually 34 or 35 that have been finished, that are actually implemented. But there's 60 others that are in progress, that the Inspector General has acknowledged that there's a plan in place. The plan just has not been completed. So basically, we've addressed over 90 of the 103 recommendations, but only 34 are completed, but 90 have been addressed.
And if January 6th happens today, is the Capitol still on the list?
I believe it is, yes.
All right, one more question?
General Walker? Can I push for General Walker?
So the committee investigating January 6th released documents showing that Mark Meadows said in a January 5th email, the National Guard was on standby to protect pro-Trump people. Do you have any response to that? Or what would have given the chief of staff that impression?
Your guess is as good as mine, but the National Guard was never on standby to protect anybody pro-Trump or anti-Trump. You know, what we were doing on January 5th was the mission that the mayor of the District of Columbia requested us to do, and that was approved by the Secretary of the Army. You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Yes, sir.
Just a follow-up question. You outlined many of the reforms that are underway. In your view, what do you think are some of the most significant of those reforms to you, the ones that really think will make the biggest difference as we move forward?
There was no question in my mind, looking at all of the recommendations, that intelligence, operational planning, and getting our civil disturbance unit up to where it needs to be were the 3 biggest issues, and those are the ones that we worked on first, and those are the ones that, frankly, are largely completed. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. And we don't anticipate doing a press release today with this, but the chief is testifying tomorrow in front of the Rules Committee, so we'll have much more about our improvements then. Thank you.